Hello everyone and welcome to the very first episode of our brand new show, The Film Digest, with Brandon Jimenez
and Henry Gonzalez.
In this show, we'll be giving you a film review, the Film Digest,
and what we recommend to watch over the weekend.
With enough being said, and with that down, let's start the show.
Today, the Batman has finally been released in the United States after so much anticipation over years of development.
That's right, Henry. The Batman has undergone so many delays, including recastings, rewritings, studio problems, and COVID. Many of the original lead stars that were planned had been recast, and a lot of the story concepts were redesigned. A quarantine put production on hold for over a whole year.
To say the least, fans of Batman were forced to wait for years to see their favorite Caped Crusader return to the movies. But today puts an end to that long wait, and moviegoers like me and Brandon couldn't express our happiness more.
It seems like the Batman is going for a new approach that's never been seen before in the history of his movies. According to the director, Matt Reeves, he took inspiration for building his perfect Batman screenplay from movie classics like Taxi Driver, The Godfather, and the serial killer genre that includes the movie, the gritty and dark.
If you ask me, Brandon, I love this new direction that the Batman is taking. It's really a bold approach to a newer, darker, grittier Batman that's going to extreme measures to find a serial killer Riddler in a grimy Gotham City. It's something fresh that Batman fans like myself have wanted, even though we never asked for it.
I can't wait to go and see this neo-noir Batman story for myself. However, there is more blockbuster I've yet to see. Henry, what are a few other movies that have been released recently?
Well, Brandon, 2 weeks ago, two A-list actors have returned to the big screen in a high-budget, action-packed blockbuster. Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg share the same screen for the first time in Uncharted. Any personal thoughts?
It's great to see that a video game turned into a movie, but yeah, it's also crazy to see that Mark Wahlberg appeared in his first hit since 2020's Spencer Confidential. And it's also crazy to see Tom Holland dish out another big movie yet again.
Absolutely.
2 months
after No Way Home.
2 months after No Way Home.
Despite lackluster reviews, Uncharted has raked in over $50 million during its opening weekend. That very same weekend, it was also competing against 3 other movies for the box office. The first of them is Dog, a film directed by and starring Channing Tatum, aka Magic Mike. Then there's Death on the Nile, the sequel to the 2017 remake of the classic Murder on the Orient Express. And 2 months later, Spider-Man No Way Home is still making millions every single day.
It's been a crazy and great year for action movies so far.
Actually, Brandon, let me stop you right there. It's been a crazy year for horror movies.
Oh, no, you have a point. January's first box office release was Scream, the first sequel to the franchise in 10 years. The movie was a huge hit, performing surprisingly well with critic reviews and its ticket sales. It made a total of $130 million, making it the 5th highest grossing movie of 2022. It's also the first of the series not to be directed by Wes Craven due to his death.
Due to his death in 2015, of course.
Yeah,
alongside Scream, the critically acclaimed horror filmmaker Guillermo del Toro released Nightmare Alley, a disturbing thriller that takes place in the 1940s New York. Some of his other works include horror classics like Pan's Labyrinth, Crimson Peak, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and 2021's Antlers.
Great movie, and I love his direction. But you can also watch Nightmare Alley on HBO Max.
Yep, and finally another highly anticipated horror movie release is the Netflix soft reboot for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is expectedly gruesome and macabre like the original.
Theaters are packed with people now as more and more films come out. Although the box office has slowed down significantly due to COVID in 2020, more than 53% of people in the US have expressed full comfort in coming back to the movies.
And numbers are still climbing.
Yeah. As the conclusion to this week's report of movies out now, we're saying that right now is the best time to buy tickets and watch new releases every month.
Hey Brandon, you know what I love most about this part of the show?
What is it, Henry?
It's In my opinion, this whole part of the show is to introduce people to old movies that they probably haven't seen before, right?
Yeah, but what did you have in mind?
Well, let's talk about a movie called Clerks, a cult classic directed by Kevin Smith that was from the 90s, made with a budget of just $20,000.
Just 20,000.
Man, no. The whole movie was filmed with a black and white camera because of their terrible budget.
Oh, I saw that movie, and I gotta say, I love Clerks. I'm not gonna lie, the comedy was golden, the acting was perfect, and you know how I like a good sense of dialogue in movies.
Yeah, of course. No. Like, the script was really just perfect.
What I love most about Clerks is that it was really just like a slice of life.
Yep.
In the 90s, like, there's no villains, no major conflict, no mystery. It was about a guy who's spending his day off in New Jersey, New York, in his convenience store with his friend.
I feel that the side characters made the movie go, like, drive forward too. Like, who can forget Jay and Silent Bob?
Didn't they have like a bunch of movies after Clerks?
Multiple movies. I mean, they appeared constantly throughout Kevin Smith's movies because of their popularity in Clerks.
I forgot how much I love this movie, actually. Like, I first saw it, I was never bored with any part of the film. The characters were written perfectly.
Absolutely.
The ending is a very 10 out of 10. I enjoyed that.
I definitely agree. If you love movie dialogue or you're in the mood for a genuinely funny or heartfelt comedy, this is the perfect film to just sit back and watch over the weekend.
And with so many serious movies coming out, like the Batman, it's good to just take a chill pill and watch
Clerks.
Yeah.
I think, as my review on this show, I give Clerks a definite 9 out of 10.
I back that up with a personal 9.5.
Absolutely. Clerks really is a heartfelt film that I feel these actors and these writers really poured their guts into. This movie should be talked about more because it has been given the credit it deserves by critics and audiences everywhere despite its lowly budget, just $20,000. If you've never seen the movie before, we definitely recommend it. Watching it this very weekend. Overall, it seems like the perfect time to start revisiting some old horror classics. Scream and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre are two franchises that have risen from the dead and are right now relevant in the media. Plus, with more horror movies to come out in 2022, it's definitely never out of line to start preparing by revisiting some old classics. Although with the new Batman detective-style noir out, it should definitely be at the top of your watch list. Everybody's gonna be rushing in theaters to watch that.
Yep.
And it's also the best time to go back to theaters and watch some more mysteries, such as Death on the Nile and Nightmare Alley. Or if you're into superhero movies for the action, like Batman, watch Spider-Man No Way Home if you haven't seen it yet, and Uncharted. That'll definitely satisfy your action-packed craves.
Yeah. And of course, the Digest recommends Clerks. This week and next week, we'll choose a new movie to review and discuss.
And we will recommend it to you as your host for the Film Digest.
I am Brandon Jimenez.
And I am Henry Gonzalez.
And thank you so much for watching our premiere episode to the new show, The Film Digest. And we'll catch you up with Hollywood next week.